This is Sean with Theta Chi, Delta Chi chapter alumni stories, and I'm speaking with Ralph Hansen. You're a legend within the organization. Ralph, where are you located currently, and how are you doing today?
Well, I'm doing just fine, Sean. I'm actually in Lake Forest, Illinois, where I live, and I'm in my in-home office today.
So we were originally connected because of a very big racing family that you've known for a long time, the Unsers. I was essentially my company was hired to interview the people that knew the Unsers, from Mario Andretti to yourself to Michael and Eddie Cheever and a lot of different individuals in the race industry. And then we presented it at his 60th birthday, which you were able to attend downtown Indianapolis. What did you think of the event and being able to hear everybody's perspective about the Unsers?
Well, I've got a long history with all of the Unser family, having known, Bobby and Al Unser Sr. and then Al Unser Jr. Al Unser Jr., who I'm working with now currently with one of our programs called Future Star Racing, was an active driver when I was representing Newman Haas Racing, and we had Mario Andretti and Michael Andretti and a number of other drivers that drove for us. So I became good friends with Al while he was active. He's a two-time winner at Indianapolis, and we've become close friends, and we're friends for a long time. Theta Chi fraternity, the Delta Pi chapter, just recently held an event in Indianapolis where we honored the entire Unser family with a special honor. And a beautiful presentation was given to Al Unser Jr. And we called them members emeritus because you can't initiate people that have already passed on. So with the blessings of the grand chapter, and they were in attendance at the event, we provided a beautiful plaque with photos from Bobby Unser's win, Al Unser Sr.'s win, and Al Jr.'s win. So they are actually now affiliated with Delta Pi chapter at Indiana State.
Well, here's a shot of him and Norma, and that's how we originally got connected to surprise Al for his 60th. They were married last year. She's also involved with the Wings and Wheels Foundation and Future Star Racing. So it's been great really being able to hear the backstory from everybody. And here's a quick shot of Al Unser Sr., Al Unser Jr., Bobby Unser, Bobby Jr., Mario Andretti, Michael Andretti, and Roger Penske Jr. And you were very instrumental in bringing in a lot of the big brands into the sport, and also with working with Paul Newman for Newman Haas Racing. Here's a shot of you and Al Unser Jr. in a golf cart. I'm not sure where that's at, but the purpose of these is to get a little bit of the alumni's backstory in their life, as well as some great stories of the past. So, this is the original house, and you said this was built in the 40s, maybe late 40s, early 50s. And what do you kind of know of the beginnings of how Theta Chi really got started at Indiana State University?
Well, that house was originally built for a wealthy family, the Binley family in Terre Haute. It was a beautiful home, as you can tell. The third floor of the house was actually used as a grand ballroom, but we used it as the dormitory where we had all of the beds set up for all the members. And at one point we were at capacity, I think, with pretty close to 35 guys living in the house. Exactly, I'm not sure when Theta Chi first actually purchased that house, but when I went through Rush, which was in 1967, obviously that was the house. And as you'd probably know, we had a disastrous fire in 1970, and we lost the house. It was a total loss.
All right. So if, part of this is, the alumni, they can hear from each other, but also the current guys at the house and the guys that are, coming into the house. What would be a message to them that you would really want them to understand what they're supposed to get out of fraternity and also life after fraternity? What would you like to instill on them on how they should, really develop as a man and with people and business and whatnot?
Well, there's a saying, you're a Theta Chi for life, which is true. Once you graduate from college, you don't stop being a Theta Chi. You're a Theta Chi forever. And I'm a good example of that. I'm 74 years old, and I'm still hanging out with the college kids and having them come to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And a couple times a year, I invite the whole chapter out for a pizza party. And anytime any Theta Chi, be it an alumni or an active member, has ever contacted me and wanted a reference or help finding a job, I've been very fortunate in being able to help a number of the brothers find employment, quite a few actually. And I'm always there ready to help. If somebody's in a jam and I'm in a position to help them out with their tuition, or if they've got a financial issue, I and the other members of the fraternity that are alumni have been very generous and have helped. So you stay a member for your whole life, and the motto of Theta Chi is the helping hand. So that's our obligation and pleasure to be able to assist these young men today that are trying to create a life for themselves in a future. And from people like myself that have been around and experienced amazing things through the fraternity, the friendships that I've made that all started with Theta Chi. It's something that you have, and I encourage them all to stay with the fraternity, stay active, be a part of it, join the alumni organization once you graduate, come to homecoming, and take advantage of all the opportunities. The brotherhood is something that's a wonderful thing to experience, and I treasure it.
Well, I know that they're going to be building out a new website to be able to hold these video call with image interviews as well as audio just over the phone. And I think that a bigger piece, besides reminiscing and hearing all these stories, is kind of what you said, being able to connect with alumni. So there'll be a way for, even now at Theta Chi Delta Pi chapter stories.com, alumni can put in their contact info, what they're currently doing, their current job, company, website, and then there's a view page that people can start seeing. So I think that through this whole process, being able to really not just re-engage the guys for the stories, but so they can really utilize the network that already exists and making it an easy way for them to get a hold of everybody. Yeah. What do you think of that whole mission and the whole plan?
Well, I think it's fantastic. And like we were saying earlier, there's a number of fraternity that have got a really good feel for the history of Theta Chi. I strongly encourage you to get a hold of Rob Hasbrook, as we call him,
right,
and talk with him. He's a legend in Theta Chi. Rick Ward, the owner of the facility, he is the person that has created that beautiful facility that you see with the basketball court and the fire pit and beautiful parking lot. Without him, we wouldn't have that today. So there's a number of others that I think would be able to add a lot to this. And I don't mean to omit anyone, because there's so many. But when you're looking at history, I know that Rob could be a very, very interesting person for you to interview.
Well, something that ended up happening with our fraternity through Ball State was guys started sponsoring other guys' interviews because they wanted those people from their era to talk about it. You've got 50 years of alum, right, that are alive. And one guy might have the contact info of some other guys at his age, but the alumni board might not. So it really becomes kind of, the effort, and it gets put on the onus of the individual alum to let the other alum know that they can be a part of this. And it's not just for the alum to hear it. the actives and the rushies, but it's for their kids and grandkids to hear their legacy, because everybody gets copies of their own. We're just going to have a central place to house everything. So I really appreciate your time. Is there anything else you'd like to say to the other alumni?
Well, I just want to say that being a member of Theta Chi fraternity has been one of the most important aspects of my life. I'm enormously proud to be a Theta Chi and be a Delta Pi chapter member. I've created friendships that have lasted throughout my life that are extremely meaningful to me. And never for 1 minute did I ever regret the decision to pledge and become a member. And I really want to encourage all the other alumni that see this. If you haven't been active in the past, please get active and become a part of the organization. The dues aren't very much, but they keep you in contact. So thank you all for letting me talk today. And I look forward to seeing the final result. I like the concept of what you're doing, and I appreciate you, Sean, for putting this all together, and Garrett Ackles for helping get it started.
Well, it's going to be a fun road. I know that this coming month in July is when they're going to be discussing with the board to be able to launch. And I know they're also working on the new site. So it's going to be an exciting time to be able to save a lot of the stories. And it's a pleasure for me to be able to be a part of it and help. Eventually, we might even be able to get some of the younger guys to be able to help do the interviews and down the road. But anyway, Ralph, I appreciate your time, and it's always a pleasure. It was great seeing you out at the track for the vintage running last weekend.
Well, I'll be seeing. I'm going to be back at the Speedway. I'll be out there for the Brickyard 400, the NASCAR race, and there's another road race, another Grand Prix later in the summer. So I'll be out at the track at least 2 more times this summer. So I'll be around, and I'll see you in our suite.
All right. It sounds good.
All right.
Well, thank you for your time. Just stay in the line, but I'm going to close this one out.
All right. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.